Yeah. Yeah, I just read chapter 1106 and all I have to say is, what the fuck did I just read? Now, this is absolutely the most stupid chapter of One Piece that I have ever read. It was so stupid that I lost a lot of brain cells, okay? My brain is dying reading this nonsense. And this chapter was so bad that I'm gonna take a break from reading One Piece, at least for a couple of months. Because no other chapter can come close to being this bad. I'm gonna try to calm down and explain everything that's wrong with this chapter, starting with the fact that Luffy regained Gear 5 during this chapter. In chapter 1095, Kizaru and Luffy knocked each other out. We had a bunch of chapters showing Kuma's flashback. Then we came back. Kizaru was completely fine after fighting Gear 5 Luffy. The same Gear 5 Luffy that destroyed the strongest creature alive. Absolutely destroyed him. And well, Luffy didn't get back up. Luffy was unconscious, barely able to move. Luffy crawled on the floor, searching for food to regain his strength to turn back into Gear 5. In chapter 1103, 1104, Luffy was on the ground, unable to fight. In chapter 1105, the last chapter, Luffy found a bunch of food on the ground, or people tell me that there was a machine that he took food from, a vending machine, but the art is so bad in the backgrounds that I can't tell. In my opinion, Luffy just found a bunch of food on the ground. But it's possible that he crawled near the vending machine and took the food from there. It doesn't really matter. Luffy started eating food. Now, Kizaru, the entire time that Luffy was eating food, you know what he was doing? Was he trying to stop Luffy from regaining his strength? Well, no, Kizaru was doing nothing. In chapter 1105, Kizaru spent over half of the chapter standing like an idiot, doing nothing. Well, maybe he didn't stop Luffy from eating the food and regaining his strength because Kizaru was tired, okay? Kizaru was not able to use his abilities, except for the fact that Kizaru used his abilities literally in the same chapter. Kizaru is the fastest character in One Piece. He could have taken Luffy while Luffy was tired, unable to move, zip-zapped over the ocean, dropped Luffy in the ocean, and Luffy would have died. The number one threat to the world government, Nika, would no longer exist. Now you may be saying that, well, they can't kill Luffy because if they kill Luffy, the devil fruit escapes them again. The only time in the series we saw a devil fruit user die, the devil fruit literally appeared on the exact same island near the place the user died, and that was during Punk Hazard. During Marineford, another devil fruit user died. Ace died, and Doflamingo somehow gained Mera Mera no Mi. Doflamingo probably gained Ace's abilities because Doflamingo and Ace were both on Marineford at the same time. So it makes sense that Ace died and Doflamingo found Ace's devil fruit on the exact same island. The same way that during Punk Hazard, the devil fruit user died and the devil fruit reappeared on the same island. The first time Gear 5 was shown, the Gorosei members were scared. They were like, oh shit, Nika is back. I'm gonna shit myself. Oh my god, Nika is back. I'm so scared. But now Saturn tried to attack Luffy one time when Luffy was on the ground. he got interrupted, and after that, he didn't give two shits about Luffy anymore. No care in the world that Luffy is recovering, just having a chat with Vegapunk. And Kizaru spent the entire chapter just standing. Kizaru was just standing like a moron, like an absolute moron. Why didn't Saturn try to kill Luffy and just tell Kizaru, don't let anyone come near me, stop everyone who is trying to interrupt me from murdering number one threat to me? I mean, Nika is supposed to be the number one threat to Saturn, but Saturn didn't seem to care at all that Luffy was about to recover. Saturn ordered a buster call on Egghead, and then he tells a bunch of random marines to capture Luffy. Like what? Buster call is meant to destroy and kill everyone, but you want to take Luffy in alive? Why didn't Saturn himself try to cuff Luffy? Why did the guy send a bunch of random ass marines, a bunch of weaklings to try to cuff Luffy? How does this make any sense? How are a bunch of random marines supposed to cuff Luffy? Why do the marines even exist? What's their purpose? Most of the marines are weaker than Nami at this point. Then it was revealed that Vegapunk had the control over pacifistas the entire time. He just wanted the pacifistas to try to kill him and his friends for no reason at all. He was able to control the pacifistas the entire fucking time, and he was like, nah, I'm gonna wait until the last minute. Turns out that Vegapunk decided to program the pacifistas to follow Bonnie's every command. Why didn't he do it sooner? Vegapunk's head is a massive target for the pacifistas. You can see Vegapunk's head from space. So if the pacifistas would have killed Vegapunk in the last chapter, then no one would have ever found out that Bonnie has the ability to control pacifistas. Did Vegapunk just forget that he has the ability to control pacifistas? It seems that he just forgot about it. Also, how did Bonnie never come across a pacifista before? Am I supposed to believe that Bonnie never saw a pacifista before? Doesn't make any sense. Now let's talk about the world government and how incompetent they are. Oh, Gear 5, Luffy, Nika, number one threat to the world government, is laying next to us, unconscious, barely able to move. Should we, take Luffy out for good? The world government are like, nah, who cares? Let Luffy recover and turn into Gear 5. It will be fine, just let the guy recover. Who gives two shits about Nika? I mean, I know that Nika is supposed to be very frightening to us in the world government, but in Egghead arc, in this arc, we don't really care about Nika that much. Let's just have Kizaru stand around doing nothing. Oh, these pacifistas, they were created by Vegapunk. Is it really a smart idea to send creations of Vegapunk after their master? Maybe Vegapunk can, turn the pacifistas against the world government? Maybe we should, just send vice admirals after Vegapunk. Nah, let's send pacifistas after Vegapunk. I know that pacifistas were created by Vegapunk, but they won't turn against us. And also, let's allow a creation of Vegapunk Stussy to join our most secret organization CP0, and then let's send Stussy after Vegapunk. It will be fine. Stussy turned against the Marines and the world government. The pacifistas turned against the Marines and the world government. What about the Seraphim? is the world government now going to destroy the Seraphim? Make sure that no one else is going to betray them? That no one else is going to turn against them? Nah, of course not. Because they never learn. They never learn from their mistakes. The world government in One Piece is the most incompetent group of villains ever created. Even Fat Pooh is smarter than these characters. Just keep doing the same mistakes. Never ever learn, okay? Stay stupid forever. Trust the Seraphim. Send the Seraphim after Vegapunk. Okay? You know, pacifistas and stussy turned against you. What are the chances that at one point in the story the Seraphim are going to turn against you? Nah, probably not gonna happen, right? The world government is a fucking joke. It's also revealed that the Marines are shitting their pants. They are scared because the giant pirates, Dorry and Broggy, have arrived on Egghead. Okay, who gives a shit? Are we really going to pretend that Dorry and Broggy are strong characters? They were defeated by Mr. 3 pre-timekip, one of the weakest characters in One Piece. Even, I don't know, Rebecca can easily defeat Mr. 3. And I know that One Piece fanboys are going to say that, well, actually, Dorry and Broggy were tired. I don't give a shit. Mr. 3 defeated Dorry and Broggy. He almost killed one of the giants, and he took the second giant as a hostage. There is no excuse to hype these characters up. Oh my god, it's Dorry and Broggy. They are so badass. No, they're not. They got defeated by Mr. 3. They are not even strong characters. Are we just going to pretend that never happened? Oh yeah, Dorry and Broggy were always top 10 strongest characters in One Piece. The Marines have a reason to be scared. Honestly, a random nameless Marine is probably stronger than Mr. 3. And the most ridiculous thing in this chapter is the fact that Mr. the Giants look at Nika. I mean, the Giants look at Luffy, Gear 5 Luffy, and they are like, we're gonna protect the Sun God, yeah! How the fuck do you know that Luffy is the Sun God? First of all, we had an entire arc with Dorry and Broggy. They never mentioned the Sun God once, okay? But now they look at Luffy and they are like, should we call you the Sun God? How does everyone know about Nika? How the fuck does everyone know about Nika? Before Wano, okay? From 1997 all the way to 2021. In the 1000 chapters that One Piece existed, Nika was not mentioned a single time ever in the entire story by anyone. No one ever mentioned Nika. No one ever talked about Nika. But now it turns out that Dorry and Broggy knew about Nika, Vegapunk knew about Nika, Kuma knew about Nika, Sentomaru knew about Nika, Kizaru knew about Nika, Bonnie knew about Nika, Gorosei knew about Nika. Nika is introduced at the end of Wano for the first time in the story. Right after Wano, it's revealed that, oh yeah, we all knew about Nika. Everyone always knew about Nika. Then why the fuck did they never mention Nika? How does this make sense to anyone? This chapter, this manga, is giving me brain damage. Reading this shit is going to give me brain damage. That's why I'm gonna take a break. So what's next? Like, what's gonna happen next? It's revealed that Boa Hancock was only with Luffy because she knew that Luffy was Nika the entire time. Turns out that Bartholomew was a massive fan of Luffy, not because lightning saved Luffy's life, but because Bartholomew worshipped Nika, and he knew that Luffy was Nika the entire time. It turns out that the only reason Rayleigh wanted to help Luffy, wanted to teach Luffy the ways of the Haki, was because Rayleigh knew that Luffy was Nika. Are we going to retcon every single character?